makes most women start a business? Is it passion, money, or freedom? Welcome to Female Founders, the podcast that takes you behind the scene with women who are founders and CEOs to help you start and scale a successful business of your own. I am your host, Nagelia de Ravin.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Female Founders. In today's episode, I have the pleasure of speaking with Jillian Losik. Jillian is the founder of eMarketplace Management LLC, where she helps brands grow on Amazon. She's passionate about supporting startups and small businesses, making sure they succeed in the competitive world of online retail. Good morning. Well, in some part of the world it's good morning, somewhere it's good afternoon. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to have this conversation with you. What inspired you to enter the field of e-commerce and specifically to become an Amazon specialist?
Well, that's a great question. So about, 10 years ago or so, I had just moved to Park City, Utah. And to be totally honest, I was restarting my career. I had fresh out of college. I had gone into this highly corporate finance area and realized very quickly that was not for me. So I did that for about a year, quit my job with a one-way ticket to Central America. That was great. Went on a little hiatus for 6 months. And while I was there, my boyfriend got a job in Park City in Utah. So after I was done with traveling, I moved here and I was starting fresh of what am I going to do now? I don't want corporate. Do I want startup? What do I need to do? I minimal experience at that point, but I knew I was very, very good at finance and analytics. So I found a job working for a startup company in the Amazon e-commerce space. They were simply looking for an analyst, someone to build out their reporting, do all of the demand planning, managing all of this inventory, reporting it, and profitability. So I started just learning that for this company. And then I learned this entire world of what lives behind Amazon.com and how you can support a variety of sellers. So very, very exciting to jump in. And because not only was the business a startup, but all of the clients we worked with, well, some of them were small, some of them were large, but you learn a lot. I mean, in just a few months of working for them, I learned just as much as I did working for a year in a corporate job. So it was very, very fun. And then I pivoted from one style agency to another, and then was hired directly in-house to work for another, just a brand itself. So I was working with one brand, doing all of their e-commerce and Amazon, other marketplaces. So you're managing everything from inventory to ads, dabble in customer service, everything, the images, content. It's a lot, but it's wonderful and it's really fast.
So from there, I'm guessing you fall in love with it and you decided, hey, I can start on my own.
Exactly. That's exactly right. I really enjoyed working for one brand, but I did miss how much you learn working with multiple brands. And so I figured, do I want to start working with another agency again and have my hands in multiple fields? Or why not just do this again but on my own and in my own terms? So this way I have a big ethos in sustainability, and I wanted to make sure I was supporting brands who had sustainability somewhere in their brand, the base of their brand, whether it's their packaging is eco-friendly, maybe their manufacturing practices are sustainable, something in there where they care about more than just profits. And so that's why I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to start my own business, and I'm going to be very, very careful about who I bring on as my clients. And I want to make sure they have really interesting, unique, authentic products. They have an amazing founder-led story, like a true birth story. Mm-hmm. It's so much more fun and exciting to work with those innovative business owners and founders, and exciting products too.
Yes, it is. But now, what type of services eMarketplace management provide?
We do everything Amazon. So if you're looking as a customer, if you're not familiar, when you're on Amazon.com, you're typing into the search bar something that you want. Let's look around the room. Here we go. Everybody has one of these days.
Yes.
So if I am on Amazon.com and I'm trying to find this product and I don't know the brand name, but I'm simply trying to put, I don't know, steel water tumbler or steel cup, portable cup to go, something like that. Those are all keywords, SEO, search engine optimization keywords that I need to match on my listing, the Amazon listing, with what the customer's search intent is. So that's how when you type in the search bar, click enter, all of these products show up. Now, the first few placements are ads. So people are, or sellers are bidding on those keywords. So part of our job, a big part, is getting those ads set up and running and making sure we have the right keywords that we're targeting and outperforming the next seller. Now, also on the listing itself, you have to make sure the image is clear. You know, how big is this? If I put it next to my head, that gives it a good scale. If it's just a picture on its own, you have no idea if it's this big or this big. So there's a lot that goes into it. Same with use cases. You know, can I flip it up? I don't know if I can flip it upside down, so I'm not going to try. Think again. But, you know, like different use cases of, can I throw this into my gym bag? Does it fit into my car? Does it, you know, where can I bring this? Can it do hot? Can it do cold? Kind of interesting in that, can you put a smoothie in here? Is the straw big enough? So that's where you start looking at the images and making sure the customer knows exactly how, when, and where they can use it. And so they know what they're getting. A lot of times on Amazon, you buy something expecting one thing, you receive something else, you're not happy. Yep. All right. You leave a negative review, you send it back, no bueno. So that's part of our job, making sure the listing is clear and concise and ties directly to the SEO. Inventory, we have to make sure we're always in stock, because if you want this product in that size and that color and we don't have it, we've just lost you as a customer.
That's true.
So we are demand planning not only for the Amazon inventory, but like I said, most of my clients are startups. A lot of them are small to medium businesses where they don't know demand planning more than 3-4 weeks out. So we help them with forecasting 6 months out, a year out. You know, let's reduce your product costs. Let's try to make your product more profitable. So let's never stock out. And with just simply units of scale, we can start to bring those costs down. Another big part of what we do, again, on that cost side, is we're looking at packaging. So if you put this into a large box, not only is it going to jiggle around, but you're going to have to pay for that extra dunnage in the box. You're going to pay for fees, storage, shipping on this big box. You should really have a small box, really compact. So that's one of the things. It sounds really straightforward, but every single client we've received their packaging, we're like, wait a minute, we can make this more concise. We can do this a little better. And that's where part of our ethos and sustainability helps, because we can say, you know what? Let's cut out the plastic bags. Let's put in something that's made of bamboo or repurposed, recycled, compost bags. Maybe even just having a smaller boxes or bags means a smaller footprint as well. So there's a lot on the end to end. And then, of course, customer service, which just making sure the customer comes first. Even when
So pretty much you handle a very big part of that. But it sounds also that they have to send you example of the product so that you have an idea how it feels, how it looks like, and how can you actually help to make things better.
That is correct. Yeah. And I like to know what product I'm supporting. You know, I have, for example, a new client right over here called Lazy Food. They sent me the product and I got to try it out. It's a really, really yummy. Yeah, it's like modern day mac and cheese, you know, when you're feeling lazy and you just want mac and cheese. Well, this is real food. It's real plants. It's not just macaroni and cheese. It's a bunch of vegetables and herbs and all the good things. So he sends us this product and I get to try it out and say, oh, wow, this one's spicy. I didn't know that before. Good thing I got to try this as a customer so I can make sure that the Amazon listing very clearly depicts this. This product I tried and I was like, you know what? I like salt. I like sodium. Some people might not. Everybody has a different taste profile. But I want to make sure that we call this out so customers don't receive it and are surprised. Not only that, on the we get to be the customer, but we really get to see the product, feel it. We get to play with the packaging, see how we can change things. It really is like it's not just Amazon. It's not just e-commerce. It's almost like we're a full company consultation.
It's a lot more than that, actually. When you think about it, because you're receiving the products, you're testing the products, you're making sure the product is okay, and you're making sure that when the customer get that product, also they'll be happy with it. Like you said, I order things from Amazon before. When I get it, I'm like, did I order something different? Because that's not it. Completely different. I remember one time I ordered curtain for a new curtain for my window. They say it's supposed to black out the lights, but I still have lights. So I'm like, where's the blackout? Because it didn't black out anything. The lights are coming in. Good morning, America. I'm here. So, and you spend a lot of money. Like one curtain for just one, not like the double one, just the one, you're spending like $60-$70, and now when you get it, it's not what it is. So it's kind of like, I think
so frustrating.
It is. What you are doing is awesome, but do you also write the content that goes in when you order and you read that content?
Yeah. So we do full market research. We check what products in the category, like what keywords are they using. We're looking at competitors saying, what's a keyword that they find strong? They've already paid for the research. Let's pull from there. One of the other pieces that I like to do is I look at those customer reviews. So if you receive that blackout curtain, and you're like, I'm so frustrated, this is such a pain, and you left a negative review, I'm actually going to read through all of those reviews and see, what keywords are you using to describe this product? And so that way I can really, really know, like, what are different ways to describe it? So this, like, yes, it's a pasta, it's a macaroni, it's got penne, like, but what exact words of the consumer would they use in order to describe this? Is it a meal? Is it a kit? Like, anyway, so that way you're matching to their search. And likewise, reading through competitors' reviews, where did they fall short? Where did they mess up? What are customers having a hard time with? And how do we avoid that?
Wow, that's a lot of work behind one product.
It's a lot.
But do you support seller in the United States or anywhere in the world?
Right now, it's mostly the US. So Amazon US is hands down the largest marketplace in the world right now. We've tried with Amazon Canada, and we dabble in there. If somebody's been on the US for like Amazon US for a year or two, we'll expand to Canada. Then we'll expand to Europe, start with, United Kingdom first, maybe go to France or Spain or Germany, of course. We've tried Australia. But it takes so long to make sure you have the groundworks, the full foundation established for the US. Your sell through, everything. So making sure that's fully established before we expand. We have also dabbled with other marketplaces internationally, like in Asia, there's Taobao, what is the other one? Qo10. There's a bunch of different marketplaces. In the US, eBay. It's still there. Yes. It still exists.
Still there, yes. Actually, it's still a good platform. It's kind of funny to say, but when I order things from eBay, I got exactly what I order compared to Amazon. It's kind of sad to say, though.
No, it is. It's so interesting because eBay is, you basically, like, you have your own listing. Say, I'm the seller. I'm going to sell this. This is my one listing. Whereas on Amazon, there could be like 10 different people selling this one product. Well, maybe not this one. Definitely this one. So,
definitely, yeah.
And these are the people where you really have to figure out, like, is this a professional? Is this person? Like, how detailed are the listings? So, but you're right. So eBay is really interesting. We have a lot of clients that, based on the demographics of their audience, eBay does quite well. Whereas for others, there's just no demand. We have one client that sells coaxial cables. I didn't know what that was before. But if you turn your computer around or your TV around, it's everywhere. There's just this really long extension cable to connect, cables. So we love it. On eBay, it does quite well. There's a big, big demand of people who have like two-way radios. They're at home, especially during COVID. Oh my goodness. Everybody had these little home radios. Yes. And they blew up like crazy, especially on eBay. And Amazon, of course, but I was very, very surprised that eBay did so well.
But another thing that when we are talking about different platforms, Amazon is a good platform. Don't get me wrong for sellers, but also come with the downfalls. I feel like with the high percentage Amazon take out of the money the sellers make, it might be great for sellers overseas because the products are cheaper, right? Compare if you make a product in the United States, that's become a lot more expensive because you're making it out of the United States and then the price is higher. So now that's become an issue for sellers in the United States because they're making less money. That might become a challenge. So what is your point of view on that?
For sure. So it's interesting. And this is something I hear very often is, Amazon's very expensive. Amazon's very expensive. If you're comparing, say, the website, so their Lazy Food, their website itself, and how much they're going to pay to get the customer to the website, that will end up costing more money because on Amazon, the customer's already there. It's just a matter of how do you get the customer to your individual listing. So Amazon does take a 15% referral fee. That's their commission, their bonus for simply selling on their platform and for gaining access to those hundreds and hundreds of thousands, well, probably millions of customers at this point. And that is a 15% fee, but just like on your website, you're going to pay checkout fees, credit card fees, all of these other fees as well.
That's true.
So it ends up actually coming very, very similar on costs. And trust me, so many people are like, what? No, Amazon's expensive. The part that is expensive is their fulfillment fees. And this is where people get very confused, where they're like, what? I'm paying Amazon to store my product and to ship it out to the customer. Now, on Amazon, if you're using the Fulfillment by Amazon FBA Prime, Amazon's going to ship the product. They actually pay for shipping. The seller doesn't, and the customer does not if they're Prime members. So if you're comparing fulfillment fees of a 3PL plus shipping versus the fulfillment fees of Amazon, on their fees, they just don't have to charge as many. Whereas a lot of the larger 3PLs out there, they will incur you a fee at every single touch point. I had to put a sticker, I had to put it in a bag, I had to do something, put it in a box. They charge with you on each of those. So that's where 3PLs will add up, whereas Amazon's just one fee, fulfillment. So, yeah.
So pretty much like, but when you talk about the fulfillment, is it on top of the 15% they're taking out?
Yes, exactly. So the 15% is just that referral commission fee. The fulfillment fee, so that's going to depend on the size of the product and not just the product itself. So say I'm selling these as a 2-pack right here. I was actually just doing this process yesterday. I was comparing what's going to be the FBA fee if I package these together like this versus this. And I found the FBA fee is actually going to be cheaper if I stagger it like that. So I was able to shave off, it was about like 75 cents in fees by making sure these get packaged very compact like this and no extra packaging around it. So this, of course, I throw it into a tight poly bag, make sure I have the right size poly bag itself. And that's one way to reduce your FBA fees. Like I said, I've had other clients who I start working with them and they put these two in a massive bag and they're just loose and flopping around.
Costs more money.
Costs so much more money just because it takes up extra space. The weight's the same, but the space is what you're paying for.
But would you say that it's better for them to do their own fulfillment? Like, for example, they can have it, some sellers are making the products at home. Maybe they can just keep it at home and ship it themselves. Is it cheaper for them compared to using Amazon?
Some it is, yeah. I have a client right now. He has some products that he still ships out of his home, which is great. He gets to write a handwritten note and say, thank you so much. He gets to experience the
special, yeah.
It's special. He gets to experience the whole thing. The downside is, it's his time, it's his money, and he's not able to scale. So he's spending all of this time just packaging and shipping versus running the rest of the business. So the scalability you lose if you do it yourself. The other side is he has to pay shipping, and he's based in California. So he's shipping from California to wherever these customers are. Whereas in Amazon, they have 120 fulfillment centers around the US. So when you send your products to Amazon, they try to be within a few hours of the majority of your customers, which is why they pay for the shipping and then it gets to the customer faster and free.
So pretty much you're saying in some cases, it's better to actually use Amazon fulfillment than trying to do it by yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, most cases I would say so. We've had clients, once they switch over to FBA or Prime, their sales go up by 60%.
That's pretty good.
I mean, as a consumer, like I go on and I filter, like, is this Prime? Can I get it in 1 or 2 days? Or is it going to take a week?
And sometimes with Amazon also, like you said, you can do the overnight shipping where you on the morning by 4 a.m, it's only at your door. You order it at night time and 4 a.m, it's at your door. So you pretty much get it very fast. Compared if you go to that seller and you have to wait 2-3 days to get it, you might change your mind, go with a different seller. With this time, I done that before. Oh no, I need this by tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to go with a different seller instead.
Oh yeah, and I have a 12-week-old baby, so I'm up at 2-3 in the morning most nights on Amazon. I need more diapers. I need more of this. I need more of that. And by the time it arrives a few hours later, I've already forgotten. Like, husband, what did you order? Like, oh, that was me. That was the 3 a.m. Jillian, right?
This is so funny. Sound like me. You know, for business owners in the United States that would like to sell on Amazon, what can they do to stay profitable?
So staying profitable, you know, another project I was just doing with a client this morning, I looked over her COGS and I said, where in here can we reduce? So one of the things we found out was they were adding extra stickers. They had a barcode, a UPC barcode. They had a few other stickers on the product itself. It said, because you're paying your 3PL a prep fee or your co-packer a prep fee, let's take some of these costs out. Let's take some of these labels out. I also went through the entire process with them of who is touching the product and getting it to Amazon. And we were able to take a few of those touch points out. Okay, instead of sending it from your co-packer to your 3PL to prepare it into multi-packs and then to Amazon, let's just have the co-packer do this. You know, you cut out that shipping in the middle, cut out the 3PL is always going to have higher fees than the co-packer. So, and the co-packer, to clarify, is the person who's making this product and putting it in the bag.
Got it. I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I should make sure I pull it back a bit. I'm so ingrained in this e-commerce space. I'm like, not everyone knows all this. No. So that's one thing. And then we would talk about like, do customers want a bigger bag, a smaller bag? Because a bigger bag, you might be able to reduce your cost because you're able to buy so many more ingredients in that unit of scale right there, or economies of scale. And then packaging wise, how expensive is this? Do you really need to have the nicest little Ziploc at the top? God. Is there anything on the product cost itself that we can reduce? So if that's really it, if you're looking over your model, where on packaging, where on materials, everything, prep, package, dunnage, etc., can I reduce my fees? On the Amazon side, it's just that FBA fee. How can I make this as compact and efficient as possible to reduce that fulfillment fee? Another great way is know your demand. Know your inventory really, really well. Amazon doesn't want to be used as a storage facility, so do not ship more than, say, 60 to 90 days of inventory at any time. So if I'm selling these like 1 unit a day, I wouldn't send more than 60 or 90 to Amazon. If I have too much, you incur storage fees. If you have too little, Amazon actually charges you a fee for inefficient logistics.
Huh?
That's a new one.
How do you know if you're going to have too low or not?
That's us. That's what we do.
But how do you figure that out? Because I'm like, I don't know, maybe 2 days, 2 customers might buy my products. Maybe in 10 days, they probably would just buy one. I don't know. So how do you figure this part out to make sure you don't get that fee?
So it's definitely when a client is new, when they're new, whether it's to Amazon or just selling in general, that is a definite hard number to figure out because you're still generating your demand. Sometimes your demand is very skewed. Like I had this massive influencer post and I sold through 100 units. But then I didn't sell again for 2 weeks, you know, so it's a lot of this information is heavily skewed in the beginning, but we look at inventory on a 7-day, like looking back at your last 7 days of sales, your last 14, last 30, 60, 90, and we start to come up with a consistent cadence. And usually around like the 3 to 6 month mark of selling on Amazon, or a year of selling off of Amazon, we start to figure out what is your demand? What's your daily sell-through rate? A hard part in determining that daily sell-through rate, like I said, is when you have the big skewed pushes. It's also stockouts. Like, oh man, we tried so hard, but we stocked out of inventory because we ran out of a certain ingredient in our product and it pushed back our production timeline. It happens. It happens all the time. So keeping that data point in mind also is something we know is going to affect it. Now, it's interesting. Once a product goes live on Amazon, like I said earlier, reviews are a big driver. That's probably the most important thing on Amazon. Price, of course, and product reviews. So product reviews, every single time your product review goes down, your product itself is going to show up lower and lower on your search results. Because Amazon says, I don't know if I trust this product. The customers don't. Maybe it's out of stock all the time. Maybe customers just don't like it. The price is all over the place. So you really have to establish trust on Amazon. And the biggest driver is product reviews. So we're constantly looking back at those reviews and saying, what are customers saying? What don't they like about the product? Maybe we have this one brand called Oomph Sweets. They make this amazing healthy candy, loved by adults, kids, everyone, diabetics, you name it. It's just, I'm a huge fan. They're on probably their second or third iteration of this product because they've listened to the customer journey, the customer reviews. Some people said, there's too much fiber. It's really working, but there's too much fiber. Which I'm like, for toddlers, I'm like, this is good. So we've listened to the customer reviews and they've made changes to the product itself and said, you know what? We need to go back to the drawing board. Let's start over. Packaging size. Customer said, I'm paying this high fee, but I'm only getting like 2 or 3 packages. It's not nearly enough. So we went and we made a larger packaging size. We were able to reduce some of our costs and play around with our pricing a bit there as well. So it's really having the reviews. Once you have a consistency on, okay, maybe this is a 4.3 rated product. Great. Now you look at your sell-through while you remain at a 4.3 product rating. This is it. This is where you're going. You can only go up from there. The second that your reviews start dropping below a 4.3, it actually plays with the psyche on Amazon because it looks like a 4-star review and customers don't trust it as much.
That's true.
They're like, you know what? I'm going to go to this other listing that has a 5-star or 4.8. Yeah.
How can they get good reviews? What's the best practice for that to actually get good reviews from the customers?
Best practice is to have a good product. That's the truth of the matter. It's every time I have a new client, they're like, all right, how do we get reviews? Like, who can we pay to get reviews? I'm like, no. Amazon, it's all about authentic, fully unbiased reviews. Of course, many sellers will start and say, hey, mom and dad, hey, friend from college, hey, so-and-so, please leave me some reviews on Amazon. And that helps, it drives your original organic or non-organic reviews. But Amazon flags these. They can catch it. They know if this is biased. If you have the same last name, the same mailing address, same IP address, or you all of a sudden get 10 5-star reviews in the same day, and they're like, what a minute, what's happening? They catch on to
up to something.
Exactly. So the best way is really have a good product and test it before you go into Amazon. That's probably one of the best advices I can give to someone is send your product out to people who's not your mom, who's not your friend, like somebody who is going to be very, very honest. Give them a full survey. I want to see a full consumer insight report. What are people saying about your product? What do they like? What do they not like? Because people on Amazon, it's very hard to get them to leave a positive review, but a negative review, oh my goodness, they are on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very fast.
Very fast. They're like, this was terrible. It's like, oh, all right.
For me, the way I see it, I just return your product. I'm not going to get, I guess because the way I was raised, my mom used to always say, if you don't have anything good to say about someone, don't say anything at all. So I think that I always kind of like, that's my best practice. If I don't have anything nice to say about you, I'll just keep my mouth shut. If you ask me any question, I'm like, yeah.
I wish that
But
was a policy on Amazon.
but what I do is I'll just pack your product and I return it back to you. So, and
Yeah.
I'm done. That's it. But I feel like it's just because I don't like it doesn't mean the rest of the world won't, right? I might buy something from you. It might not be my taste. For example, I might get an oil. I don't like the smell. That's just me don't like the smell. I don't think it's
Yeah.
fair for me to go leave a bad review just because I don't like the smell. I've seen people
Yeah.
done that. That is why when I buy something on Amazon, I read the reviews. The bad reviews, I focus on them because a lot of them are BS. I feel like they're just BSs. Because
Yeah.
you're posting something, you give it 1 star because you didn't like the smell of mint. Well, it says mint in there. Why did you buy it? Just return it. It's very simple. That's why Amazon gives you the choice of returning something. Just
Yeah.
return it, but don't leave a bad review for that seller. Because as a business owner,
So
I
bad.
know how it feels when you give them a bad reviews for something you could have just not buying. You chose to.
It's so interesting you say that. So 2 things. I had an electrolyte brand years ago. And electrolytes, one of the main ingredient of electrolytes is sodium, salt.
Yes.
We had negative reviews where people said it was too salty.
Really?
Yeah. And then recently we have these fiber gummies and people are responding saying, oh my gosh, it worked too quickly. It worked too much. I had the whole bag. I'm like, I don't have the whole bag. Just maybe don't have the whole bag.
Learn your body. When you get a new product, test it out. Take a small piece, test it out to see how it works for your body. It's like there's one that's vitamin pill, and one lady buy 2 different ones from the same seller, but it's 2 different vitamin that do 2 different things, and take both at the same time. And she left a bad review. I'm like, why did you take both at the same time? You should have
It's
tried
so
them
bad.
separately. So those reviews, I would tell people, don't take them too seriously because the seller only tells you need to test. Even when you buy like a soap or like a lotion for your body, it always said try in a little part of your body
Right.
just to make sure if your body not going to react to it. It's something new you are trying. Take your own precaution with your own self, but don't go blame the seller for certain things that's
it's so bad. Well, and a lot of it too. So the good thing about those bad reviews is it really gives the seller the proof that customers don't read. Like they're not reading the title. They're not reading the bullets. They'll look at the images, but you have to be so clear. Like what we did with that feedback, the electrolyte brands, we put in all caps really loud. This is a sodium product. There is 1,000 milligrams or 600 milligrams, whatever it was. It's a part of your electrolyte system. This is why you need it. The fiber gummies, we said there are 30 grams of fibers in this entire bag. Do not take the whole bag. Take one.
don't eat the whole thing.
Don't eat the whole thing. But it's also a big part of what I noticed on Amazon is a lot of time it's educating the customer. So most customers think when they're buying this product on Amazon, they think Jeff Bezos created it. They think they're buying it from him. They think that they are just funding his piggy bank. They forget that there are small businesses that run their life, that pay their bills off of these sales.
Yes.
So a lot of times I'll open up the conversation to people who leave these negative reviews and say, hey, how's it going? I saw your negative review. Just wanted to check in and say hi. And every single time they will respond and say, oh my gosh, you're a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a small business. We're not a robot. We're not Jeff Bezos. We're not some mega company. We are just little guys with a really cool product that we're trying to sell.
And we're trying to make you happy. If you don't like something, I think that the best thing you can do is give that company a chance by just reaching out. And I've done that before. There was one oil I purchased before, and they put lavender on it. But that lavender was so much. It's like it's like the moment you take that oil, that's the only thing you smell. And that moment I have such a bad headache. You know what I did? I wrote an email, said, this is a nice product, but that's too much lavender for my taste. So don't get me wrong, maybe my body doesn't like that much of lavender, but somebody else might be like, oh, this is great. But when I said that to them, what they did, they asked me, oh, you can keep the product, we'll refund you, and we'll take your review into consideration. I didn't go to the website, leave them a bad review. I just let them know that the lavender was very strong. And the moment that I take this out, I have a headache. I couldn't even put it in my body because
Wow.
my head was heavy from that lavender. And I don't know why. But I looked at it. It's a small business. Why am I going to give them a bad reviews when somebody else might love that lavender? It's like they might even spray they might even take that thing, put it over their entire body so they smell like lavender. So we all are different, we all have a limit of things we can handle. Just because it's not working for me doesn't mean it's not going to work for the other million of people. You never know. So
you are the best Amazon customer out there. Honestly, I think we need to contact the Amazon support and tell them, hey, we need to ask her mom what the real review policy needs to be. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it.
Don't say anything at all. The worst you can do, send a message to that seller.
Yeah,
you're right. Again, I guess because I'm a business owner as well, I look at things as in a business point of view, know? It's like, if I do this, that will cost that seller something. Hey, let me write them a message. And then they did. And they sent me a message. And then 2 days later, they called me, said, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I just got a headache. I took a shower. Everything went fine. Yeah. I'm not going to use it again, but I'm good. And I didn't use that product, but I took it. I sent it to my little sister, and she loves it. Oh my God, this smells so good. I'm like, huh? Okay, then. Enjoy. And they end up with a new client, right? Because next time my sister buy it from them. I didn't become a customer, but my sister became a customer. That's how people have to look at things. Don't put other people down, because behind it all, there's a human being that is trying the best to put a smile in your face. Yeah. So before you say something bad, think from the positive side of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, how can people reach out to you?
Yeah. How? So they can go through my website, which is eMarketplacemanagement.com. It's a lengthy one. Or they can send me an email. So Jillian with a J at eMarketplacemanagement.com. And we're always listening to brand stories, any ways that we can help. We have some companies where we're just giving them consulting. Maybe we're just giving them a project to help them get the foundation of Amazon. We give them training so that way they can manage it on their own. Once they get to the next scale, maybe they're like, this is way too much. I've got a life. I've got a family. I've got the rest of my business to run. Jillian, can you and your team manage this? And we say yes. And we take on everything. And we contact the sellers as often as they want or as little as they want. Some of our clients just want an email every month that says, you're good. Others want to meet every single week and go through everything. And we're here for it. We will over communicate or just be as clear and transparent as possible.
So before I let you go, what advice would you give to startups looking to establish a presence on Amazon?
The advice I would give is definitely one of the pieces I had mentioned earlier of make sure you do have a truly wonderful product. And by doing that, go outside of your traditional group, like go to people that you've never met before. There's different cohorts at colleges that you can actually send out to. Berkeley, for example, Berkeley University, you can send products out to them, or Berkeley College rather, and they will send these products to their students and they'll try it, and you can send a questionnaire.
For free?
I don't know if it's for free. That's a great question. It's probably free for the consumers, but it's also a good way not only to test your product, test your pricing. There's still so many farmers markets in all these towns. Do a pop-up, and every single pop-up you do, test out different prices. Ask people to try it right there and maybe bring home a little interview with a QR code or something to do a survey. We've really got to find out, what do people like? What do people not like? Then once you're on Amazon, people are always going to be more brutal, just like we talked about. I wish they wouldn't be, but they are. And so it's okay if not everyone likes your product. That's just is what it is, especially in the consumable space or the lifestyle clothing space. But it's just making sure that your listing calls out your positives, your negatives. Just cut it to a chase. Like, hey, this is high in sodium. It's an electrolyte.
Right.
Fiber, it's a fiber gummy. Different things there. So that's another one. Obviously, do what you can to reduce your costs, but do not jeopardize quality. You want to make sure you have true, genuine quality, and consider sustainability, because even the world that we're headed in, everyone's going in that direction. So if sellers are not using sustainable packaging today, they should be in the next, call it 2 to 3 years. So you might as well get ahead of it early. A lot of millennials, Gen Zs, they are just buying products that say organic, vegan, different certifications that you can have that show maybe it's compostable or compact by design. So there's a big, big need and in the demand side that people are searching just for the social responsibility or maybe packaged eco-friendly options.
Well, thank you so much, for giving me that time to have this conversation with you. When I was reading about him, she's the guru of Amazon. So I need to get all the details for everybody to hear them, because we don't know much about Amazon. And I am sure a lot of small businesses want to get there. And sometimes they feel very scared and afraid and how to even start. And I think a company like yours can help them get started, but also let them know it's okay. It's okay. You can try this out, even if you don't want to stay there for a long term. But
Exactly.
At least it's a good start to your business to let people know your product exists. And I thank you for all you are doing, even with a lot in your shoulder.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate your time and all these amazing questions. And I appreciate what a wonderful Amazon consumer you are. We owe a thank you to your mother.
Thank you for listening to Female Founders Podcast. That's it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app or connect with us on womel.com so that you don't miss our next episode. See you next time. Bye for now.